Hello all. Today we are going to discuss how we can real-timely monitor the humidity and temperature from a remote location with the help of ThingSpeak Cloud. This is an open source cloud of MathWorks, and currently I have logged on to this particular cloud section, and once you logged on you will be getting an option to create your own channel. So initially you need to customize this particular channel so that the humidity and temperature can be real-timely fetched, and that can be monitored on this particular dashboard of ThingSpeak Cloud. So let us start with the step-by-step procedure how we can do the respective configuration in ThingSpeak Cloud. So what you need to do, you need to click on a respective this tab, that is to create a new channel. So here you need to give the name of your channel. Now suppose it is humidity and temperature monitoring. You can provide the respective description of the same here also, and these are the fields we are looking of, field 1 to field 8. So in this we can provide up to 8 total parameters. Suppose the first one I am writing as a humidity as my first field, second field as a temperature. So you can interface multiple sensors and to your respective IoT development board, and you can provide here the respective field names over here. The rest of the options are not that much currently usable. Now I am simply selecting this show status and click on a save channel. So once you click on a new channel, it will be creating your unique channel which is having this particular ID, which is unique in nature. The author name is provided. A kind of access to this channel will be a private kind of thing. So it is not public unless and until you shared it publicly, and we can have here varieties of tab below it. So let us discuss it one by one, and below that we will be observing the status of your channel. So this particular graph is associated with monitoring the humidity parameter. So and here the field 2 is related to the temperature. So real timely we can monitor here the different set of readings associated with the humidity and the temperature parameters. Now let us talk about actually the private view. You can make it public by sharing it. So we have here the option to share it, or we can click on this public view, and now currently it will be showing this channel is not public, so you can share it first. Click on sharing. So we can have here 3 different options: keep channel view as a private, or you can share the channel with everybody. It's a kind of a broadcasting thing, okay? And you can set the share channel with only with the following users. So here you need to mention the username, that is the email address of your user, that user only able to see the actual content of this channel. But currently I am selected this particular option as a share channel view with everyone, so it is open to everybody. Okay, so now if I click on a public view, now see here the access, initially it was private, now it becomes a public one, and under the public view you are getting the same content that we have seen in a private view, okay, in the same way. Okay, now the next thing what is important, so the channel setting. If you click on a channel setting, whatever the configuration you have done in this creation of the channel, the same thing will be observed here. Okay, it will be getting a channel ID, 30% of the contents we have completed, or field 1 is humidity, field 2 is temperature. That's it. Next one, you can here at the bottom most, you can clear the content of the channel also, or you can delete it later on if your work is done. Next, there's a very important part is API keys. So API keys are very important in a way to upload the data onto the cloud, or to read the data as well as to write the data. Now we can have the respective keys over here. We can generate it also. So there are two different keys are available. The first is the write API key and the read API key. Okay, so if I want to upload the data onto this ThingSpeak, means I need to write the data onto the cloud, so I needed this write API key. And with the help of my Android app, if I want to fetch the data from the this particular ThingSpeak app, so I can use this read API key. So we are interested in these two keys, and indirectly we can say we can use here certain HTTP commands such as a get, post, delete, okay, and to upload the data as well as to read the data. So what I am interested in, if I want to write the content onto the channel, so I needed this particular write channel feed, so I am interested in this particular URL. Now let us see what this URL consists of. So I will be just opening the next one of the tab, and I will simply paste the respective URL. Now the very first thing, as I mentioned, this communication is through the HTTP protocol. So initially it is HTTPS, that is secured version of HTTP, and the server name is nothing but the api.thingspeak.com. Okay, so we need to upload the data on a ThingSpeak cloud. So what data you need to update? So initially we needed, so this is the write key I am talking about, API key, that is L0SVR. Now if I want to see here L0SVR, so this is a particular write key. So with the help of this particular URL, I am just able to upload the data onto the ThingSpeak cloud. Okay, so after the API key we have the field 1. Okay, so what is this field 1? Now if I go to the, suppose a public view, your field 1 is associated with the humidity parameter. Okay, it is related to a humidity parameter, and field 2 is related to the temperature parameter. Okay, now if suppose I am writing the field 1 as a 0 equal to 0, suppose I am entering here some values 25, suppose, or instead of 25, suppose it is 75 if the environment is very much humid. Okay, suppose 75% is the humidity in the environment, so I am manually providing if I hit enter. Now see, at the leftmost upper corner you are getting the option or number as a 1, and this number is always incremented once you hit enter in the URL, means number of commands sent. Now if I say that this 75 is now uploaded with the help of this API write key, I can get that particular number over here. Now see, under this field 1 for humidity, I got the value of 75 which I have entered manually, isn't it? In the same way I can change the value also. Now suppose drastically the humidity falls down to suppose 50. If I hit enter, this number should be incremented. If you are getting here the number as a 0, means that specific data is not uploaded onto the ThingSpeak cloud. Okay, so let us see. Now see, immediately from 75, now the humidity is down to 50. In the same way, I can change manually content from the field 2. So I need to here change the value. Instead of field 1, I can write it as a field 2, and temperature initially suppose it is 35 degrees centigrade, and if I hit enter, now see this number is incremented, now it is 3, and this 35 parameter or the data will be uploaded in the field 2. Let us check. Now see, you are getting here this particular parameter. Again, now suppose due to certain environmental condition the temperature is exceeded up to 50 suppose degrees centigrade. If I hit enter, now again it is incremented. Okay, and that same value will be uploaded onto the ThingSpeak. Now just refresh it. you will be getting the number. Now see, from 35 to the 50. So in this way, what I mean to say that, so this particular URL is very much important for us. What it consists of, the respective protocol that we use to send the data onto the cloud. The respective URL that can be considered as an DNS, that is a domain name system of a respective cloud. Also we can say this is a kind of server, okay, ThingSpeak server, and we are going to upload the data. We are going to update the data using a specific URL, sorry, the key. That key will be considered as an API write key, which is unique in nature, and we are going to upload the data. So we are interested in which field, okay, whether it's field 1 or field 2. So respect to that, the data will be uploaded. So this particular URL we need to write in your code that you are going to upload on IoT development board, isn't it? So here only you need to provide certain variables, so that if the humidity and temperature changes, the data will be stored in the respective variables, and now it will be reflected over here automatically, and real timely you can observe these specific readings over here directly, that is continuously being uploaded onto this particular environment. Now from this ThingSpeak cloud we can take the actions as well. I'll take an example. If suppose the humidity exceeds certain value, certain range, we can say this is a kind of thresholding value. If suppose it exceeds 80% of the humidity, or suppose if I am talking about the temperature, if temperature exceeds 50 degrees centigrade, then it can send you the notification on your mobile phone, okay, in terms of you are getting a notification via SMS, you can getting the notification via call, as well as with the help of email also. So how you can do that? So what we are interested in, we are interested in here the next cloud as an IFTTT. So IFTTT stands for if this then that. So here you need to create your own credential on this particular platform, and once you log on to this particular platform, you need to create different applets, so that the applets can be run real timely, and you are getting the values, you are taking the decisions with the help of this IFTTT cloud. So how we can create the applet? Now take an example. After the login, you are getting this option as in create. Now click on this create. Okay, now the long form, as I said, IFTTT stands for if this then that. So what is its meaning? So we need to provide the input by clicking on this, so and we can get the output by clicking on that. So it just like a if else statement. If this is happen, then that can be performed. So your input you need to provide, and you need to provide your output as well. Now what should be your input? Now click on this plus symbol, plus this, and here you need to search for a very popular service, that is a webhooks. Now webhook is a popular service used for triggering a specific event. If suppose that event, if regarding the humidity, if humidity exceeds suppose 80%, then the request will be generated from the webhooks. Now you need to click on this particular webhooks. Now you need to click on receive a web request. So after the triggering, now take an example, this trigger fires every time the maker service receives the web request to notify it of an event. So after every event it will be sending a trigger to the respective clouds. Now click on this. Here you need to provide the name of your event. Now take an example. If I am writing as a humidity exceeds, now you need to take care of the thing that whatever the name you are going to provide for this the template, okay, so it should not provide any kind of spaces in between, because we are importing this particular event name in the URL provided, isn't it? So as we know, in URL the spaces are not allowed. isn't it? So that is why I'm written this, the humidity underscore exceeds. Okay, so I'm just simply copying this because it is required afterwards. Now after that you can click on a create trigger. Now see, at the input now webhooks is now given. Okay, it will detect the event occurred, and now at the output what you need to select. So your output, click on that, and here you need to select the notification on which you are getting the notification in what terms. Now take an example, you should get as a call, so you can search for VoIP, VoIP, that is voice over internet protocol calls. So you are getting an immediate call from this particular cloud. Okay, so click on this VoIP. Now you can select this particular option, that is call my device, so click it. Now you are getting this particular message after, suppose you are getting a call from this particular cloud. Once you lift the call, you are getting this particular message. So hello, an event called. So here this event name will be replaced by humidity exceed automatically and occurred on the Maker webhook service. So you are getting this audio on your mobile phone immediately after lifting the phone. Now click on create action. No need to write the event name manually, it will be automatically taken if you create. Now see, you are getting this particular message. If Maker event humidity exceeds, then call my device. If event is occurred, then automatically you will be getting a call on your mobile phones. Click on finish. In the same way, we can create n multiple types of applet. Now click on a, got it. Now what we are interested in, you need to click on a settings and you need to check whether this applet is working properly or not. So you need to click on this particular option to check now. Yes, now you are getting the option as a check completed. You are getting acknowledgement as well. Okay, now click on a save. Okay, so once you have created this particular applet, now you need to go to this particular webhook application. Click on this particular webhook application. So under this webhooks, you need to go to the documentation, and under the documentation, to get the trigger from the event, you need to copy this particular URL, which is unique in nature, but here you need to provide the name of that event. So earlier I have copied the name of our event is humidity exceeds, and as I mentioned, we here used underscore. We cannot use spaces in your URL. So I needed this particular URL, so that is the triggering URL I am talking about. Okay, and I needed this particular triggering event URL in your ThingSpeak. So go to the ThingSpeak and go to the apps. So here you need to go to the setting or the respective app of Thing HTTP. So with the help of HTTP, you need to send and receive the command. So click on Thing HTTP. Here you need to create the new Thing HTTP. So click it. Here you can provide any name, or you can now select, suppose humidity and temperature alert. Okay, and so this is the name of this particular request, and here what we are interested in, we need to enter here the URL that we have copied from this IFTTT. Okay, so that will act as a kind of trigger. Okay, and the method we are using is kind of HTTP GET command. Okay, so we are getting, means you are getting the request, or we fetch the request with the help of GET command. The HTTP version we are using is by default 1.1. We cannot change it, and click on save Thing HTTP. Now see, you are getting this particular option now in Thing HTTP. This particular field is now created, alert, humidity and temperature alert. Now how you are going to react on to this particular conditions? Now go to the apps, click on a react. Now you need to react. What happened if humidity exceeds or event occurred, then when the event can be occurred. Now click on the react. Click on new react. You need to define it. Click it. Now provide the name of any react. Suppose I am using H&T, that is humidity and temperature monitoring. Okay, so condition type you need to select as a numeric, because the value we are getting from the DHT11 sensor, that is the humidity and temperature, in the form of numeric values. And the frequency I need to check, select is on a data insertion. Whenever the data is generated from the DHT11, that can be uploaded onto the cloud directly. So on every data insertion event. Now I need to select the channel. If you are having n number of channels in your account, you need to select the specific channel name or that specific channel ID. So I have created the humidity and temperature monitoring. Okay, just we have created, so you can select that particular channel only. Now you need to take the decisions. So define your conditions first. How you can define the condition? If your field 1, now suppose is a humidity, is greater than or equal to, now suppose if I am writing is a 80, if the humidity value is crossing this thresholding value of 80, okay, so it will act as an action. Means what is the action? That is the event occurred. So in Thing HTTP you need to select whatever we have selected. So we have just created the Thing HTTP event as an humidity and temperature alert. Okay, Thing HTTP, we have seen it. Okay, under this particular Thing HTTP we have created this humidity and temperature alert, and after the taking the action, it will we need to use this option, run the action each time the condition is met. So every time if the humidity is exceeding this particular thresholding value of 80, you are getting a call on your mobile phone. Now you can save. Click on save. Now see your H&T, this particular condition is now met. Now you can create multiple conditions. Now suppose the same your condition selecting numeric on a data insertion. I am selecting our channel as a humidity and temperature monitoring, but now I need to take the decisions based on the temperature. Now your field 2 defines your temperature. If your temperature is greater than or equal to 30 or suppose 50, suppose I am taking. Okay, when it is 50, then what happen? You need to select Thing HTTP parameter or that particular event file as a humidity and temperature alert, and you need to select this option as a run action each time the condition is met. Save. Click on the save. Now respective these two React files or apps are generated. Okay, and one more thing, you can create multiple things with the help of the IFTTT. Okay, I'll show you the thing here. If I click on a home, the respective applet is now created. If event occurred humidity exceed, then it can call to my device. I can create multiple applet for sending a SMS or email as well. So input I need to provide the webhooks, the same event application. Click on a receive web request. I need to provide here the same event name, humidity exceeds. Okay, I'm copying it and click on a create trigger. The input is given as a webhooks. What should be your output? Now suppose if you want to get the notification using SMS, so you can click SMS and you can use this option as an Android SMS. Click it. You can use this send an SMS. Here you need to provide your mobile number. Okay, so you can provide any number. Okay, so suppose this is any kind of mobile number. Okay, you can provide it here. That should be your own mobile number. Okay, and the kind of message you are getting, the event named, that is humidity exceeds occur on the maker service. This particular message will be getting on your mobile phone. So instead of event name, you are getting your event name as the humidity exceeds. Okay, you can click on a create action. Now this particular applet is now again ready to execute. So you can create and multiple types of the applets. Go to the setting and again you need to check it. So remember this, every time you need to click on check now after the completion of any applet to check whether this particular applet is working fine or not. Now click on a home and we can see our next applet is ready. So first applet is to get a call, and the next one is to get the SMS. In the same way you can create the third applet to get the notification in terms of email. Now input is your webhooks, select it, the event name is same, humidity exceeds, click on a create, input is given. Now output should be your, suppose, a Gmail. Click on a Gmail, send an email to yourself or to send an email to the specific user. You can select this, or send an email to yourself. Now you are getting this particular subject field. The event named humidity exceed occurs on the Maker webhook service, and the body of your respective email should be consist of what, when, and the respective data will be observed. If you are having any kind of attachment, that can be observed. Otherwise you can simply click on a create action. So in this way we can create here 3 respective applications. Okay, again go to the setting, you need to check again the applet is working fine or not. Yes, it is checked, completed, and you can save it. Yes. Now we are ready with the settings we have done on your platform. Okay, means your software content. We have designed a respective channel with the help of this ThingSpeak. We have designed different applets on this particular IFTTT cloud, and now let us talk about the hardware practical implementation. So I'll show you how we can perform the interfacing of DHT11 onto the Node MCU. After uploading the code, I'll show you the actual demo. Now let us see the hardware content. Let us talk about the code that can be used to operate or to monitor the parameters of humidity and temperature on a ThingSpeak cloud platform. So initially we need to import the associated libraries for the execution of the particular experimentation. So the first one is for DHT11 associated library, and second is for ESP8266, the Wi-Fi chip. Okay. Next, what we needed? We needed a unique key that is from your ThingSpeak cloud. So as I mentioned, if you go to your ThingSpeak cloud, in a respective API section, we can get the API write key. Okay, so that write key you need to copy it and you can paste it in this particular section. What else we require? We require the name of your hotspot, that is your Wi-Fi name. Okay, and the associated password for this particular Wi-Fi access. Next, we need to define what is the name of your server. Okay, so your api.thingspeak.com is the server associated, because ultimately we need to create our respective URL from which we can access the parameters, or we can upload the data onto the ThingSpeak cloud, and not only that, but also we can access the data real-timely from your DHT11 sensor. Next, I have defined the relay and buzzer respective pins which is connected onto the Node MCU, and your DHT11 pin which is connected to the GPIO pin 0, which we can say it is a D3 pin. Now next one is a particular code we are talking about. So initially this particular code is required to initiate with the Wi-Fi session. So initially we need to define your relay and buzzer pins are the output pins. So these are the actuators. The relay is the actuator, buzzer is the actuator. Why we are using the buzzer and relay? So if the humidity and temperature values are exceeding certain values, thresholding values, your relay will be turned on. Not only that, but also it will enable the buzzer as well. Okay, so if you are getting the notifications, automatically it will take the actions. Okay, so this particular code, initially it will be trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. So it's trying to connect to the respective SSID, that is hotspot, with the help of credentials such as the SSID and password. If your password is perfectly matched, then we can say it is connected to the Wi-Fi. If it is not perfectly matched, again it will continuously trying for the connecting. Means it will be a kind of loop. It will be continuously trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. Once it is connected, it will be getting a unique IP address from the Wi-Fi router or your hotspot. Okay, that might be 192.168.43. something. Okay, that is for if you are having a hotspot. Okay, and below that you need to define which parameter you would like to measure. The very first parameter is humidity, and the next is temperature. Okay, so you need to define these particular two parameters. So you need to define here the statement. You need to check the content if the kind of humidity and temperature parameters if is non-numeric values, isn't it? Sometimes problem might be observed in your DHT11 sensor and you're never getting a kind of digital values. Okay, so it might be your sensor is faulty. It will be not able to read the content. Okay, so you're never getting a numeric value because of sensor faulty. In that case, you are getting your message on your serial monitor as failed to read from DHT sensor. Means if you are not getting a humidity and temperature real-time values, you are getting this particular message in your serial monitor. And if you are getting it, then it can be directly visible to you on your serial monitor. Next part, it will be consist of, you need to create a string. What kind of string? It is a URL string, isn't it? What should be your URL? That is the URL that you need to upload the data onto the cloud, or specifically I am talking about the thingspeak.com. What is available, what is required actually. Okay, so let me show you that what actually the string is. Okay, and after the string, from where I need to create this particular string. Okay, I will show you that. But after that, what we are interested in, after measuring the temperature and humidity, all these values will be sent to the ThingSpeak cloud, and if your humidity is greater than 75, it will start your relay as well as buzzer, and if your humidity is below 75, so it will turn off the relay as well as buzzer. Okay, so that is the code about. But what we are interested in, what is this particular string, how that can be generated, what is actually the content of this particular what you can say the string. So let me show you. If I am going for the thingspeak.com, you need to log into the first section. So once you log on to the section, you need to suppose, so this is the channel I am talking about. If the humidity and temperature monitoring, you prepared a channel, you can go to the API keys where you will be getting this particular feed URL. Okay, so let us observe what it consists of. I am opening another tab and I am pasting it. Now see what are the contents of this particular URL. The first, it will start with the protocol that has been used to send and receive the data onto the cloud and from the cloud. Okay, so it's a hypertext transfer protocol. HTTPS stands for hypertext transfer protocol, which is secured version. That is why it is HTTPS. Okay, next one is the server name, that is api.thingspeak.com. It's the DNS name of your cloud. Next one, you need to update the values. What kind of values? The humidity and temperature with the help of certain API keys. So this is a unique key, that is a write key. Let me show you that also. Now see, if you go to the API keys, here we will be getting here two different keys. First one is to write API key, another one is read API key. And if I am observing L0SV, this particular key is nothing but this same key. Means we are trying to write the content onto this cloud. If I am clicking on a private view or public view, the humidity and temperature values, now see, these are the real-time values, all will be writing onto the cloud, uploading onto the cloud. So that is why I am using this API write key. So what I need to upload? I need to upload the value, any value, suppose here so 50 for field 1. What is your field 1? Your field 1 is nothing but, so this is a chart of your field 1. Okay, so field 1 is nothing but related to the humidity. Okay, suppose the value is increasing to 80% of humidity. If I hit enter, now see, I will be getting certain incrementation values, and if I refresh this particular page, I will be getting that reading over here. Now see, immediately I will be getting 80%, isn't it? So these are real timely values will be uploading. So what I am interested in, I am interested in this particular URL. Okay, so I need to concatenate all these respective names. Okay, so just like your protocol, then server name, then update, API keys, the kind of field I need to upload, and the value. Okay, and if you see the contents, isn't it? And I'm going to use the post the command to upload the data. So what I'm posting, I'm updating with the help of HTTP protocol. Okay, that is the server I am using is api.thingspeak.com. Okay, I'll be using a unique API key to upload the data. What kind of data? It can be a temperature T as well as the humidity H in percentage, and I am sending that particular information onto the cloud. So your field 1 and field 2 are associated with, field 1 is associated with temperature and field 2 is associated with humidity. So actually it is a reverse way actually. So it should be the humidity field 1 and field 2 should be for temperature, as we have just seen it. The field 1 is for humidity and field 2 is for temperature. So the respective changes you need to make, and that can be now the string will be generated. So that is the code about the ThingSpeak, means the temperature and humidity measurement or monitoring using ThingSpeak Cloud. Okay, so let us see the DHT11 interfacing with Node MCU. So I'll be showing it on a certain simulator. Okay, so simply go to the circuito.io, click on go to app. Here you can import different controllers, you can connect to the different input sensors, you can connect to the respective different actuators, okay, or different connectivity components, wireless enabling components, as well as provide with certain power supplies. Okay, so here what I need to show, I am just importing Node MCU. Simply I need to drag and drop over this working space the PCB, that is a breadboard I am talking about, the breadboard, the respective Node MCU, and the associated the USB cable to power up this Node MCU will be visible to all of you on this particular platform. And now I need to interface here DHT11 on this particular development board. So what I need to do, I simply click on the inputs because it's a sensor, and I'll be searching for a DHT11 or DHT22. So I'll simply drag and drop. The associated circuitries will be automatically generated. Now see, if I am zooming it, So this is the sensor I am talking about, DHT22 or 11. It will be having, it is a 4-pin sensor. The first you need to give to the kind of the voltage I am talking about. The VCC will be connected on the port pin number 1. Second pin is your actual data pin, the data out pin of the sensor, which is connected onto the D1 port. If I am zooming it, now this particular D1 port on which the respective second pin of data, the DHT11 will be connected. Third one is actually not connected, and fourth one is simply it's a ground. Okay, so it's connected to the ground terminal. Okay, that is simple. Okay, once you interface this in the same on a hardware platform, you need to upload the respective code that I have shown to you, and once it is now connected to your Wi-Fi, it will trying to upload the real-time values from this DHT11 or 22 sensor onto the ThingSpeak cloud platform, and based on that, if the values are exceeding the thresholding values provided in a code or in on a cloud, you are getting the notifications on your mobile phone with the help of SMS or any kind of audio call or an email address. Okay, so thank you.